Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Good morning, everyone. This is very important for people who want to talk about immigration. Immigration is a big subject, and we have so many people here in South Florida, especially, who need to know information. So I got the best attorney, immigration attorney, probably in the United States, but he happens to have, his offices are here in Miami and in Wellington. It's Chandler Finley. And this morning, welcome to our show, Chandler.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to talk about immigration law, the visa lottery. Why don't you explain to our listeners and our viewers what that is?
Okay, so this is a real visa lottery. A lot of people think it's a scam, but it's not. It's real. It's a green card lottery, only for the green card. And there are every year, this has been going on since I think it was 1986 or something like that, where the United States gives up for grab 55,000 green cards for the whole world to apply for. It's called diversity visa green card. Diversity was because somehow there was a thought back in the 80s and 90s that there were too many people coming from England, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, the main countries that we get a lot of our immigrants into the United States from, some of the other Latin American countries. And they wanted to get people to come from other countries, like, even the Irish, Ireland. This was a law that was actually created a long time ago by Kennedy, Senator Kennedy. And when they first started, there was a special provision there for an extra like 10,000 Irish to get the approval. So they bring a lot of Irish in at that time. But since then, every year, 55,000 green cards for all over the country, except for, I think it's, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, for 19 countries that are not eligible. And those 19 countries are because there's a formula over the last 5 years, how many immigrants from those countries came into the US already. So if you think about it, we already have a lot of Canadians in the US, a lot of people from England, a lot of people from Brazil, a lot of people from Mexico, from China. So those countries are not eligible. But most of the other European countries, except for United Kingdom, all of them, France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, all of the African countries are available, except for instance, Nigeria, I think is the only one. And then most of the Asian countries are available, except for South Korea, the Philippines, because we have lots of Philippine nurses here already. So that's one country not available. Pakistan is not available. In the local area here, Venezuela is not available. Colombia is not available. And there is Honduras, and also El Salvador. Haiti also is not available because those countries, why we have so many white people from those countries. But basically what it is, it's actually like the lottery. You have to file online. Just to let you know, it's free to file online at the official Department of State website, which is online. And you have to fill in your information like your name, date of birth, what country you were born in. It's important that what the country you were born in, not what you gained citizenship afterwards, but where you were really from and native. And so someone like from, let's pick a country in Latin America. So like Guatemala is available this year. Okay, it wasn't last year, but this year it is. So if you're from Guatemala, you can apply for this lottery visa, put in your information. You have to list your husband and your children. You have to send in online a passport photo of you and of your husband and of your children, all online, to submit the application. There's a deadline It starts yesterday on October 6th and it ends on November 9th. And it has to be filed in the computer, all this information. And then once it's filed, immigration will run the lottery next year, sometime in May, March, April, May of next year. And if you win, you have to go look on the website to see if they selected your number, just like the regular lottery. They don't send you a letter or anything. And then you can start your green card application in October of 2022. It takes a long time to process it, but for a lot of people, it's an opportunity. You have to be legally in the US to apply for the lottery. So if you are illegal, if you're out of status, you might still apply because maybe there might be a law that changes between now and next year that says anybody that applied and they're out of status, they can still apply. So I tell everybody it's worth it if you're from that country to apply anyway. A lot of people can tell their relatives back at home to apply for the green card. So it's 55,000. And if you think about it, the odds are better than the Florida money lotto because even if there's 4 or 5 million people that apply every year, but they select 55,000 winners, that's a lot. I always win every year of all the people I apply for. I always win about 2 or 3 people win, and they're all very happy to win. And we do their paperwork and get them their green card. Another year later, but they get their green card. They're very happy. I recently won one from Chile, one from Argentina, and one from Italy. So they're all over the place. So all you got to do is file the application. Now, you have to be careful. There are a lot of scams on the internet. There is no fee to file this yourself online. It's free online. The State Department will never ask you for money, and they will not notify you that you won and ask you for money. You have to check the process yourself. There are a lot of, my office, we offer to do it for people. If you don't want to do it for free, we'll be glad to do the paperwork for you. We charge a small fee to do it because we're a law firm. We have to take care of the paperwork and do it right and make copies of everything and fill in the information on the form and get it filed. So, but there are a lot of other agencies and law firms and notaries, people that are filing them for you. Just make sure the fee is reasonable if you want them to do it, and make sure you can get a receipt filing number. Make sure you get the receipt filing number to have proof that it was filed. There's lots of, like I said, there's a lot of scams online. There's a lot of companies in India, companies in China, all over the world that are saying, oh, we'll do it for you and pay us only $780 and we'll be, guarantee you're going to win, and we're guarantee you a job and guarantee you, spending money to come to. It's all a scam. So be very careful if you're going to apply for it online for the green card lottery. Like I said, there is an official website at the State Department, U.S. State Department, that talks about the visa lottery, and you can file it yourself. You can file it any day from now until November 9th.
Now, Chandler, would you please tell everybody exactly what that website is slowly, please?
I don't have the actual website address with me now, but it's the U.S. Department of State website.
I see.
It's going to be a .gov, G-O-V website. A lot of people are going to say United States Green Card Lottery.com. It's not the website. It's a .gov. I think it's state.travel.visa lottery or something like, or the State Department calls it DV lottery for diversity visa. Remember, I told you before, they're trying to get the countries that are not eligible. Now, there's some funny stories that when Obama was president, we had an unusual number of cases approved and winners from Kenya, which is where he was from. Just like every time there's a president with some connection to another country, we get a lot of applications from that country, those people. India also is a country that's not available because there's too many Indians here already. United Kingdom is not eligible, but Northern Ireland is. So you can apply for those countries. China is not eligible, and also, Hong Kong is not eligible. Now, Hong Kong used to be eligible, but now with the problems in China, many Hong Kong citizens are leaving Hong Kong and already coming to the US. And so the numbers have increased as to the people from Hong Kong. So they're no longer eligible.
Well, Chandler, Dan said that when he puts your interview online, he will also include the website for people to go to if they want to. That'll help them. And also, we should tell you that Chandler will be writing an article in our November issue. Now, everything is up November 8th, and so that's going to be a little tricky because we may not get out in time for November 8th, but we'll write it anyway because I think it's still important for people to know what's going on. And I must ask you another question about this. When you said that one person may have a family, do they have to fill out a form for every family member or just for themselves?
Right, good question. So anyone who's over 18 can apply. One of the rules, and so if you're married, both the husband and the wife can apply if they're both from a foreign country. So that's 2 applications. And if one wins, it will include everyone in the family, the immediate family. So husband and wife and children only. And it's children under the age of 21. So, and any child 18 can also apply on their own, but if the child wins, it will not include the parents, but the child can have a green card. You have to have at least a minimum of a high school education. There's some other requirements. I'll go through the other requirements now. So minimum of a high school education. And if you don't have a high school education, which a lot of foreign people don't have because of their situation in the foreign countries, you have to show that you've had at least 2 years of skilled work in a particular job that requires some skills. So that may be easy to show, but at least you have the high school education. You have to, or you have a job experience. You have to be over 18, and of course you have to be legal. You can't have any criminal records, things like that, unless it's a small misdemeanor or driving, criminal traffic, things like that are probably still okay, but it does include your children and wife and husband in the case. And also go
ahead. Yes. I was just going to say, Chandler, that it does seem so complicated, the whole immigration situation. And was it always like this, Chandler? I mean, I know you've been practicing over 25 years, but has it always been like this?
Well, first off, I'm going to say one thing specific on the lottery visa. Donald Trump, president, when he was president, wanted to cancel the lottery visa because obviously, it's a congressional law. It's an old law that they've had this lottery visa for 55,000 people from all over the world. And during COVID and things like that, well, there was a question of why have 55,000 more people to come in. I will mention that the law just changed on October 1st. That any immigrants now have to be vaccinated. They can't come in without being vaccinated. So that's something good for the immigration laws.
Yes, it's good.
They've also making sure that all the people coming in from southern border, across the border, are also vaccinated, things like that. So there's a push to make sure that the foreigners are vaccinated and not going to be causing any issues with the disease. But immigration right now, with the COVID restrictions right now, for instance, even still from Europeans are still having a hard time coming into the US. They cannot fly straight to the United States. There's 26 countries from the Schengen area, that's basically European countries. Brazil and South Africa, China, they cannot come to the US directly. They have to be quarantined for 2 weeks outside of their country before they can come to the US. So someone from France, they have to leave France, go to Mexico or Canada for 2 weeks before they come to the US. It's the only way to come to the US now. But the State Department announced that they will be lifting that travel ban sometime in November of this year. We don't know when exactly. So we're waiting for that to change. And that ban, once it's lifted, will still probably require vaccinations and require a test before you get on the plane, and really just have conditions based on the CDC recommendations. So it won't be an immigration issue anymore. But immigration has gotten more difficult all around because certainly during COVID, Donald Trump, when he was president, he made a lot of the laws much more difficult, stopping people from coming to the US, stopping workers from coming to the US, stopping investors coming to the US, companies from investing in the US, and made it a lot harder. Biden has reversed a lot of those rules and tried to bring back, open doors for immigration policy, at least with some families. A lot of the times their applications were not getting processed. And so now it's back to normal processing for families, at least.
I was thinking as you were talking, Chandler, how many people must work for the immigration department? Must be huge amounts.
That's right. Many thousands of people. I think they have 240,000 employees working for immigration. And Donald Trump actually during his term stopped paying them and was trying to get rid of the immigration department. That was his way of stopping immigration. So, but now it's all back in order, and it's still a little slower, but it's working again, and people are getting their paperwork done. Immigration was closed for about 6 or 7 months, and so all the cases are backed up. There's a lot of backlogs and a lot of waiting periods. Still other issues that are going on with immigration besides just the rules. I mean, the Dreamers, we talked about the Dream Act, and those people and all the people from Haiti and other countries are on what's called TPS, like the Haitian earthquake that happened more recently again, has allowed the Haitians to stay here temporarily protected. So even if they've been ordered deported, they don't have to leave because they're afraid they're going to go back to a devastated country. But the Dreamers are still on hold. President Biden promised he was going to do something for the Dreamers, and their time has been extended. The former President Trump had ordered TPS and the Dreamers to be terminated, and it was actually going to be terminated this year already in July, but now that's been extended by President Biden. But Congress is going to have to act, though. Congress has to make a new law to offer the Dreamers and offer people on TPS or any other illegal people. There's about 15 million illegals in the US now.
15, how many? You didn't say B with a B.
No, just a million.
Oh, million, okay.
Okay, and Congress will have to make that law. Now, of course, Biden made a big promise he was going to help immigration, but right now he's fighting with Congress. We don't know if we'll have the same fight on the infrastructure that we're having now, if we're going to have that with immigration reform, at least, get it to the Dreamers, TPS, people that are illegally here. They need to be processed and start, not necessarily getting citizenship, but give them work permits and give them a green card first. And we already have a law for citizenship. If they're good for 5 years, good moral character, and have no arrests, and they can apply for U.S. citizenship.
Well, what I want to do also, I want to give everyone your phone number. If you would like to call Finley and Bologna, the phone number in Miami is 305-379-7676. That's easy enough to know. He also has an office in Wellington, for those of you who want to call him there, but that's 561-478-9930, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so you can call him. His name is Chandler Finley. He happens to be my son. Proud of him, and his beautiful wife, who's his partner. And they do a very good job. I know that Chandler has gotten a lot of cases, a lot of people through immigration where a lot of other people couldn't do that. So Chandler's been very serious about this for many years. And it's really a shame when you think of it that immigration, everybody who is really an immigrant really wants to go somewhere. They want to come to the United States. And also, I'm sure that people do want to go to other countries too, Chandler. And I know you can't handle that probably, but do they treat people the same way as we do?
Well, there are different countries, of course. Some countries, everyone has an immigration policy, but they're all treated differently, depending on whether the country is more socialist or more democratic or more Republican. They all have different rules on that. Sometimes they don't have a policy, and it turns into an emergency situation, like when you have all the El Salvadorans, Guatemalans, Hondurans rushing through Mexico to get to the United States. Mexico knows they don't want to stay in Mexico, but they're temporarily in Mexico for a long time, and Mexico has to deal with that. Canada has a different type of policy. Canada has an open immigration policy now because they need more people in Canada. They're kind of, for a long time, they have been having a reverse citizenship population in Canada. And so they welcome workers in Canada to come work as long as they're qualified. And they have what's called a point system. So if you get enough points, you get offered a green card for Canada. So, those are if you have a high school degree, college degree, some skills. You maybe have a relatives in Canada. You have no arrests, things like that. You get certain points and you can be processed for green cards in Canada. A lot of the Haitians that speak French and Creole go to Montreal, go to Quebec in Canada, although it's very cold when you come from Haiti to go straight to Quebec. A lot of them go to French-speaking Quebec because they have a lot of relatives there now, and they can't stay in the United States. They don't get their case approved here, but they go to Quebec.
In the time we have left, I don't know if we can cover it, but a lot of the Afghan people who now have been dispersed in the United States, will they be getting a visa? What will they get?
They'll be getting a refugee status, which technically is a visa and can convert. There's a number of those visas that convert to a green card status, but there's only there's a maximum number of about 8,000 per year, 10,000 per year. So they're in line to wait for their refugee status to be approved, and then they can process for the green card later. I know that there was about, I don't know how many, but there's a group of Afghans coming to the Miami district that are looking for housing and people helping them and volunteers in the Miami area. Right now, most of the Afghans are in waiting stations around the world. They're not in the US yet. They're still processing. They want to get them out of Afghanistan before they can then process them and check their backgrounds and things like that. So they will be coming, but as refugees, asylum, things like that. We still have an available international law that allows people like that for protection to come to the US.
So Chandler, if someone wants to go online for you, what is your online address?
They can go to it's finleybologna.com.
And Bologna,
and that's our website, Finley Bologna,
right.
Finley, Finley. Bologna is like the meat, Bologna, BOLOGNA.com, finleybologna.com. You can find my email address and everything on the website. That's the best way to find us.
Right. Well, that's great. You've really certainly given us an awful lot of information, and it is very confusing to most people. But I know that if they follow your suggestions and get on the gov, and that will be put on the, when we put this up online, they'll see that, but then they can also call you. You have a very nice crew, nice staff there. And it's really been great that you've taken your time. I know you're very busy with so many things. And my last question is, what about the cruise ships? Are they going to start now where people can get on the cruise ships?
Yeah, the cruise ships are cruising. They have a policy basically that they want 100 people, 100% of the people vaccinated. They had negotiated, I think, a policy with the governor who was against having a vaccination policy for the ships to have at least 5% of people that may not be vaccinated on the ships. But the ships are, of course, encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. And yeah, they are not full time, but mostly, right now, not all the ships are sailing, and they're not going to all the places, but they are going out now. They had a couple of ships go out and had some issues regarding the viruses, but they're trying to be very careful. They obviously have all new procedures and all new eating facilities and rooms and things like that, like all the hotels have to do, same thing, to prevent the COVID virus from spreading, especially when you're on the closed environment of the ship and getting off for excursions, things like that. So they are very, on top of that, and they're back sailing again, but not all the ships are sailing. So it's a limited spaces right now, but they're back in business.
Well, that's really good news, Chandler, because I know that's really hurt the economy. I know that you have a lot to do with the personnel on the ships, and also, I guess we're looking into, you said now it's going, and I suppose, as you said, November is going to be a very big month for a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Because a lot of people can't even come to like Europeans would fly to the US and then get on the ships out of Miami for Lauderdale. They can't even come to the US and get on the ships. So the cruise lines are losing all those European customers. I mean, the cruise lines were closed for a year and a half. They said they were lost $22 billion of revenue and money that goes to all South Florida, the economy and jobs and everything. So they're picking up slowly, and they'll get going right away as soon as the people are able to travel to the United States and start going on the Caribbean is the #1 vacation place for cruising in the world. So everyone loves it, and then the ships are very busy and they're waiting to do it again.
Well, we're certainly hoping that people will mask, will get their vaccines, and now they even say that children can get vaccinated. And so I'm really happy that you were able to take the time today to come on and share your knowledge. It's I know it's complicated, and I know that, but you know a lot, and I hope that people will jump into the visa lottery. It doesn't make sense not to. I know it's a little extra work and you may have to get someone to help you, but it's worth doing it. And you said that you have had some people, some clients who have won the lottery. They must be ecstatic.
Yes, I've won over 200 lottery visas over the last 20 years. I've been applying, and if you really file a lot of numbers, a lot of people can win. The odds are not that bad if you think about it. So you have to apply to win. And then by the end of the month, end of October, or beginning of November, you gotta get the application filed online.
And Chandler, one other thing we have, I heard this, someone was talking about this, I don't know where, but dual citizenship for dual passports. And someone said that if you had a family member that was born in another country, why don't you explain that quickly if you can, how you get dual passports?
Well, I'm a dual citizen. I'm also an Italian citizen. And it's because my wife, Stefania Bologna, my partner, she's Italian. And by marriage, I have the right to apply for Italian passport. So I applied. And so my children also have dual citizenship because their parents are dual citizens, have each citizenship. But if you have somebody from Mexico that comes to the United States, gets their citizenship in the US after 5 years of having a green card, gets approved, then now they have US citizenship and they have Mexican citizenship. They got it through the application. And so they have dual citizenship. But whenever you arrive in the US or leave the US, you are an American. You have to remember that because that was decided a long time ago the United States is not going to send the Marines to save you unless you're American. If you're dual citizen, then you're also French. You're not going to get the Marines to go. So you got to say I'm American citizen to get the protections.
I see. Okay, Chandler,
Okay.
that's been great. I'm so happy that you were able to come on and do this with us. And we will have some sort of an article in our November issue. It may be a little bit late for the visa, but we'll certainly get you to say some of the things that you know so well. Thank you very much. And now you can go back to work. Appreciate your being here, Chandler.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.